The front pack goes single file, and the second group's march on the front has stopped for the moment. Tony Stewart stuck at 3.6 seconds behind race leader Greg Biffle as they try to close in on the front 10 with 21 laps. Trouble turn 2.
Dale Jr. is there. I see him. See a 29 car.
Kenseth in the
17.
Truex is in it.
That's a bunch of torn up cars right there.
Logano. Oh boy. That is Martin Truex. Dale Jr. Kevin Harvick. Matt Kenseth.
That's his second wreck of the night.
Harv's car is killed. Uh-oh. You better shut that baby off.
Taillight, you're on fire, Kevin.
Yeah, get out of that thing, man.
Yeah, turn left to the fire truck here.
He's trying to get to the fire truck.
Yeah, that's not something to play with right there.
Stop, there's a fire truck there. Stop, stop. There's a fire truck there. No brakes, Billy.
What?
All right, jam the thing in gear, see if it will roll down. Fire's out, we're fine.
It's funny. It just shows you what a driver is in his own little compartment, his own little world. He has no idea how much fire is coming out from under that car.
And with the smoke in the hood up and smoke in the cockpit, hard to see anything in any direction. I would guess, Gerald, you can look out that left window and use the grass and the white line as your guide. If you can. Talking to Billy O'Day, the spotter.
Yeah.
Joey Logano in the 20 makes that left-hand turn to the garage area. His night will come to a close.
And here comes the crash truck to aid Harvick, whose night also appears to be over. Big pile up here with 20 laps to go. Kevin coasts into the garage. Let's have a look, see if we can figure out how this got started.
Yeah, this is interesting. I don't know what happened here. We'll take a look. Logano is up on the outside of Jimmy Johnson there in the 48. He gets a little bit loose, and then it looks like Marcos gets into the 9 car. Marcos gets into the back of him, and it's on.
And when Logano got a little loose and lost that momentum, might that have carried Martin Truex into the back end of Ambrose and created one of those accordion-like collisions?
Remember how we said maybe in our practice show, maybe when this race started, with the 2-car tandem, we'd probably have a lot of little wrecks. But with this kind of racing, we're going to have a lot of big wrecks.
There's the contact that sent Logano around from Ambrose. And by now, Truex is fully up the back of Marcus Ambrose bumper.
And so far, every wreck we've had has been from a driver pushing another driver right in that left rear quarter panel.
Dale Jr. tried to miss it, couldn't. Kevin Harvick couldn't. And Matt Kenseth gets turned and goes hard into the wall.
I guess, Larry, that'll be the next project for NASCAR. Find out how we stop these cars from spinning out when they get pushed on the left-hand side.
That's definitely 4 to 5 drivers that I think had race cars given the right position could have won this thing tonight.
I guess being in that second pack wasn't such a bad thing.
Now let's ride with Martin Truex. Darrell, from that angle, it looked as if Ambrose had Logano a little bit sideways before Truex got to the back of Ambrose.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Ambrose gets into the back of the 20 car of Logano. I think Logano got a little bit. I was just trying to back of his car started to wiggle a little bit, and he got into him.
Dale Jr., car all torn up.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know what happened there. I don't think it's your fault, bud. They were all wrecking. That's fine. All right, let's get that one ready to load up. Hopefully we learned a lot. We got a good car. We'll work on it for the rest of the week here.
Steve Letarte, Earnhardt's crew chief, one of the best cheerleaders in this business, and has done a lot for Dale Jr.'s program. They came so close to a couple of wins last year. There are the cars involved in the crash, and many of those I don't think will be able to continue.
I think there were at least 3 of those cars that had a really great shot at winning this race, for sure.
19 laps to go as they hook up Truex, and a dozen or more come to pit road. Krista?
To pit or stay out. Chad Knaus, the crew chief for Jimmy Johnson, said, Jimmy, you're the driver, you make the call. Jimmy said at the last minute, let's come. 2 right sides. Steve.
Krista, Marcus Ambrose in the 9, narrowly missing that incident in front of him. And as the guys have said, brake problems for them. Right side tires for the 9. Matt?
It will be 4 tires for the 18 of Kyle Busch. They've also made a chassis adjustment. And the 1 car of Jimmy McMurray is in as well. He flat spotted his tires.
You know, Darrell, as I walked through the garage area this morning, some of the crew chiefs told me that they felt like that we would see this if we had a late race caution. It's not that 4 fresh Goodyear tires make you faster, just gives you a little more security.
I want to, the way they're pushing around on each other, I want all the grip I can get, baby.
Caution out for a big crash in Daytona with 18 laps to go. Budweiser Shootout on Fox. Tonight's aerial coverage by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires for the proving grounds of NASCAR inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. 16 laps to go on what has been a wild night of racing in Daytona. 9 laps complete. Paul Menard goes around. 8 cars involved. Menard and Michael Waltrip knocked out of the race along with David Reagan. Lap 32. Clint Boyer off the bumper of teammate Martin Truex goes for a wild ride. He continues in the race. And at lap 55, Joey Logano, after contact with Marcus Ambrose, goes up to the wall, takes Truex. Earnhardt and almost tips over Matt Kenseth. And Michael Waltrip concerned about the stability of these race cars. And here's a view you don't want to see. The one of the hook off your front bumper.
Yeah, these things get down in the corner, and those pushes these guys are trying to deliver in the corner is just more than the cars can stand. You know, sometimes NASCAR will have to step in and say, don't be hitting each other in the corners, and you know, that's what we've seen so far that's caused these crashes. It's even possible, as we very well clearly saw, Martin Truex spun out Clint Boyer coming through the travel. That's a corner as well, so it's really tough. These drivers just have to evaluate, look at what they're doing, and try to lay off one another down in the turns.
Thanks, Michael. To Dick Berggren.
Joey Logano, could you tell that there was another car pushing you? How much does a guy have to hit you to spin you out here?
Right now, I mean, these cars are they're going pretty fast around here, and it just depends where you get hit and how hard you get hit. You know, it seems like I got hit once, then I got a little bit free, and it just moved him to my left rear side of my bumper, and then when he hit me the second time, it started me spinning out, and then it just carried me around. So it's unfortunate for our Home Depot team. I felt like we had a pretty good car. You know, we're up there up front pretty much the whole race, you know, up in the top 5 throughout the whole race there, and just wanted to ride right there in 3rd place for the end of this thing. And man, right when you thought you're all right to ride and be all right, it just got turned around.
Thank you. Mike?
With a look at some of the technology involved at our Fox Cutaway car, Jeff Hammond.
Yeah, Mike, this year we're really excited about having our Fox Cutaway car. We got a lot of neat things we can do with it, and one of the things that, you know, people have talked a lot about during the off season has been the fuel injection that NASCAR was going to bring along here. You can take a look. This is the way the engine is set up with the fuel rail. Here are the injectors, the little coils that fire every one of the cylinders. But one thing about this, folks, is the fact that we don't have a carburetor anymore. You can see now we have a throttle body. It looks a lot like a carburetor, flows air down through it, but the main thing is we still have basically the dreaded restrictor plate. Why? We would have almost 900 horsepower if we did not have this restrictor plate. It cut the horsepower here at a place like Daytona and kind of keep these speeds down where we can at least control them a little bit. We've seen a lot of exciting racing tonight, and so far, fuel injection really hasn't been a factor.
Thanks, Jeff. 15 cars on the lead lap as Clint Boyer gets the free pass. Greg Biffle and Jeff Gordon stayed out. They did not pit. They have the front row for this restart, which will come with 14 laps to go. Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, row 2. Jamie McMurray, Carl Edwards, row number 3. 10 lead changes, or rather 10 leaders, 19 lead changes 4 caution flags, 3 for accidents, plus the scheduled 10-minute break at lap 25.
This is setting up, Larry. You got Johnson and Gordon up here. You got Biffle and his teammate back there, Edwards, in 6. We got some guys sitting up here that might have some something to say about who's going to win this.